Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of NFL Draft Triple Take presented by UPMC. Mike Prisuta, Dale Lolley, and Matt Williamson. That's right. We're still at it. We're relentless that way. We keep pounding it up in there and moving the chains as we get closer and closer to the NFL Draft. If you're not ready by the time that rolls around at the end of the month, it's not our fault. Today, we take our second look at the safety position. Before we do that, I want to remind everybody that you can catch all of these shows on all of the Steelers' social media platforms. We're just about done with our further review of the prospects position by position. And you might be aware, but in case you're not, the way we're doing it the second time around is we are giving you a riser, a faller, and a sleeper at every position. Today, it's the safety position. The first look was a top five. Today, we're just going to give you some highlights, but I knew this was going to happen eventually. There's been a lot of agreement between Dale and Matt, who do such a great job on the drive on SNR. And those great minds have been thinking alike a lot. But today we're almost all in agreement. Matt and Dale agree on the riser. Matt and I agree on the faller.
Okay.
I guess you guys are smartening me up a little bit.
There you go. We're creating a seal here and a seal there, Mike, and we're running to daylight.
Up the alley. That's the way we like it. Dale, why don't you kick it off with your riser at the safety position?
Yeah, it's Nick Cross from Maryland, and he went to the NFL scouting combine and ran a 4.3 440 and had a 37-inch vertical jump. It's 6 foot, 212 pounds. You watch his tape. He likes to bring the wood as a hitter. He's got great closing speed. If you look at the stat sheet, what he did last year, 66 tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, he just filled it up. And, by the way, you know who his college roommate was?
I do not.
That would be one Dino Tomlin. So there, another person in this draft process who has ties to Mike Tomlin. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, fear the turtle.
I like Cross a lot. I mean, he was heavily recruited. He has a track background. He plays fast. He is really aggressive, as Dale said. And then my last little nugget on him, I just noticed this late in the process too. He's the youngest of all the, top safeties in this draft. So probably the best is ahead of him.
I went with Lewis Cine from Georgia. Now, I don't know if he qualifies as a riser so much. I had him 4th out of the top 5 when we did this position the first time, but I've gone back and looked at the national championship game again since then and a little of the combine stuff. And I had this guy underrated, man. I don't know if it's because I was already fixated on the rest of the Georgia defense that's available for selection, Devontae Wyatt and Trayvon Walker and the other defensive tackle who I'm blanking on right now, Jordan Davis, and guys.
Let me ask you guys about that, because I've gotten this question a lot in some different places. With so many guys on that defense, is it possible that some of those guys maybe weren't as good as what we think they were, just because they were basically a pro team out there playing against college team?
Dale, I thought about that going through the process, and what I came up with as we near the end here is they're all very good, and they know how to play on a very good defense, and they know how to trust their buddy, and they know how to do their job. Yep. And the glory.
In some ways, it's giving you a little bit of a preview of what they can be as a pro, because they're going to have good guys around them at the pro level too.
Absolutely, I think they're almost underrated in a way because nobody has the eye-popping stats because there were so many guys making plays. Matt,
you had to beat everybody else to the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, you go. The only defenses that I can even remember pro-wise that are in this league are the U back when it was the U, and all those guys came to the league and didn't disappoint. I think there's a precedent there. I worry a little bit about the second level guys as well as Cine, because, and this is probably more of a Nakobe Dean thing, because they're not taking on blockers. I mean, their life's pretty easy to run and hit because of what the big men do. And I know it's not the D tackle show, but Jordan Davis, can he play a lot of snaps? I am very much on the island that he'd play a lot more snaps on different teams. When they're winning by 50 in the fourth quarter, you don't need Jordan Davis out there. And there's two other stud defensive tackles. He doesn't play on third down. Well, he'd play on third down in 95% of the schools.
Yeah, who's the guy that's not coming out yet? Carter?
I forget his name. He's supposed to be drafted ahead of the other guys.
I think it's Jalen Carter, number 88. But
it is 88. Yeah,
like a lot of people, I perceive Cine as a thumper, a hitter. I think he's way more than that. He ran really well, 4.37. And then I went back and looked at one of the interviews or one of the reports that Stacey Dales did at the Combine on the NFL Network. And she talked about Cine insisting that he's the guy who lines everybody else up right when they're wrong. And he's a leader. And don't think of me as just a hitter. He is a ferocious hitter. Against Bama, he was covering the slot. He made a play on a blitz, pass defense on a blitz. I think he's got a lot of game. And I think, this guy maybe isn't Davis or Nakobe Dean or Devontae Wyatt or Trayvon Walker, but it's pretty good. And
Mike, along those lines of what you said about the Combine with him, I heard multiple sources saying he may have been the best interview at any position because of his football intelligence, reading recognition skills, those type of things. And he's off the charts that way. So I think it all adds up.
I think he's a complete package at safety, and I like his game a lot. I like where he's been playing with those other great guys, playing in big games, achieving. I think you're going to hear his name sooner rather than later. Matt, we agreed on the faller, Verone McKinley III from Oregon.
Yeah, and I had a hard time really finding a true faller, but he's small and slow. That's not exactly the best combination. I think he may have hit his head on the ceiling a little bit as a very good college player, good ball skills, productive. I like the way he plays. I like his tape, but he runs a 4.65 and he's not 200 pounds. He can play the slot, but is he going to be able to handle the big slots? Is he quick enough for the Welkers and Edelmans? So, and he's also not a tremendous tackler. So I think all those things hurt him at the next level a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you that he's not, a plummeting faller, but I guess I thought I would see more from this guy, more wow, more sizzle, because he made a name for himself, at least to me, throughout the season. He's the first team All-American, captain of the team, highly productive out there. He had a bunch of picks, 6 of them to lead FBS this past year. And I heard about his resume and his decorations, and I thought, wow, this guy's going to be really good. And what he is a 5'11", 194-pound guy who runs a 4.65. So,
right.
He's certainly not ascending. I don't know if he is descending, but Dale, thankfully, you've come up with a different direction in which to head here.
Yeah, and I was in the same boat as you guys, trying to find a faller in this group. I think a safety group's kind of underrated overall. But I went with Wanye Thomas out of Georgia Tech. And, he's a box safety. And I don't know that they're, box safeties are super. Everybody wants that in today's NFL.
Going out of style, aren't they?
They really are. And then, you add in the fact that he ran a 7.33, his 7.33 three-cone was in the 6th percentile. And he didn't run a 40. So that kind of tells me he's probably a lot slower than what we think he is. Doesn't change direction real well. He's a box safety. Those guys, maybe he's a special teams guy, something like that, but he's probably not going to, be an immediate impact guy like a lot of these other safeties in this class have an opportunity to be.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid pick there. How about your sleeper, Dale?
I'm going with JT Woods at a Baylor. I don't know if you could be a sleeper coming out of that Baylor defense. But
not after these shows, you can't. If I knew Baylor's fight song, I'd sing it right now.
He's 6'2", 195 pounds. Ran a 4.3, 640 at the Combine. He had 9 interceptions the last 2 seasons. I mean, what more don't you want? And this guy's not even considered one of the top 5 or 6 or even 7 safeties in this class. He's got production, a 39.5-inch vertical. I mean, everything's there. Production, off speed. The ability to make plays, and just it's all there, and everybody's kind of sleeping on him.
That's the guy that calls himself the Heartbreak Kid, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
because he breaks the hearts of those who dare to come at him. Matt, you've got a different selection, but another pretty intriguing guy as well.
Yeah, Tyson Anderson from Toledo came to Toledo as a big corner, 6'2", almost 210 pounds at the combine. Ran a 4.36 at the combine, and he still has some recognition things to work out. And the speed of the game might take him by surprise right off the bat coming from Toledo. But he's really considered a smart guy with great intangibles. He looks like a stud special teamer from day one that just has tools. I mean, everyone wants to work with guys with his height, weight, speed combination, and he has good tape to go off of too. So I think he could really develop into something.
Let me ask you guys this: who would Al Davis have drafted out of this draft class 20 years ago when Al Davis just drafted the fastest guys available?
Yeah, the answer is
there's just all of
the fastest guy.
But there's so many in this draft.
So many
it's just
from, yeah,
it's ridiculous. I don't know. I can't remember a draft class with this kind of speed ever.
While you're saying that, Dale, I'm actually looking at this chart. All these guys were sub 4.4, either at their pro day or the combine. Dax Hill, Lewis Cine, Nick Cross, Tyson Anderson, Taylor from Tennessee, JT Woods, you mentioned, and Percy Butler from Louisiana. All those guys are below 4.4. I mean, Al wouldn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah, I'll give you your Tyson Anderson, Matt, and counter with my sleeper, Marquise Bell from Florida A&M, not quite under 4.4, but 4.41 at 6'3", 205 pounds. We're talking height, weight, speed guys. I'll take this guy as a height, weight, speed guy with length. Pretty aggressive tackler, if not necessarily the surest of tacklers, but he's only played 23 games at Florida A&M. He's a JUCO transfer.
Actually, the transfer from Maryland.
Oh, initially?
Yeah, he was at Maryland initially and got dismissed from the team before he ever played a game there. So
okay, well,
maybe there's JUCO in between there.
I picked him up at Coffeyville, Kansas Community College.
Oh, there you go.
On to Florida.
Reinvented himself. Imagine him and Nick Cross in the same secondary.
Yeah. You got a guy with some length that can run and likes to bump. We can work with that, can we not? So,
no question.
Marquise Bell, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, once he wakes up and announces his presence with authority, we'll all get that right. That is going to do it for, I agree with Lolley, a very maybe a little underrated safety position. A lot of intriguing guys, as there seem to be all over the board. Don't forget, there are more of these programs to come as we continue getting ready for the draft, getting you ready for the draft at the end of the month. And you can catch all this stuff on all of the Steelers' social media platforms. So catch up, further review it yourself. There's not going to be a test or anything at the end, but a lot to take in here in rapid fire succession. Why not watch and listen and take it in all again? That's going to do it for us. For Matt Williamson and Dale Lolley, I'm Mike Prisuta. This has been the NFL Draft Triple Take presented by UPMC.